So, I doubt this topic needs much introduction. The thumbnail says top 5 Naruto games, the title says top 5 Naruto games. Surely you know what the video is going to be about. The only thing that I need to lay down before I proceed is that I'm only going to be counting one game per franchise. That's the only rule. It doesn't matter if it's a fighting game, an RPG, or whatever. If I like it enough, it'll end up on the list. So as long as we're clear on that, I don't feel like wasting any more time. Let's just get started. So this is the only non-fighting game entry on the list, and apparently a lot of people think this game is really bad, but I really like Naruto Path of the Ninja. I thought a Naruto-based RPG was a pretty cool idea, and I had a lot of fun playing it as a kid. Now, I want to say that I really like Naruto RPG 2 Chidori vs. Rasengan, which is the sequel to this game that covers the Search for Tsunade arc and the Sasuke Retrieval arc. That game only came out in Japan, unlike a fighting game where you can just sort of navigate through the menus and guess what you're clicking on. A fucking full-length RPG is unplayable if you don't speak the language it's written in, so I guess I'm stuck with Path of Ninja 1. Anyway, the best way I can describe it is it's just a turn-based Naruto RPG where you explore the world, engage in turn-based combat, level up your characters, give them jutsu, stuff like that. It's not the most deep RPG, but I think it has a pretty nice charm to it, and it's certainly a lot of fun playing through the first 2 Naruto arcs, like, without a doubt. I was gonna put one of the Ninja Council games on here, but as far as DS Naruto games go, I think this one is a little bit better. So if you haven't played it yet, I'd recommend checking it out. I don't have much to say about it aside from the fact that it's like playing through the first 2 arcs of Naruto, but through a turn-based RPG. If that's your thing, go for it. If not, I can't say that I'm confident you'll enjoy it, but I had a lot of fun with it, and this is why I fucking top 5. So it's staying right here at number 5 on the list. Man, Broken Bond is such a weird game. I really like it, I do, but there's so much about it that's just objectively bad. The presentation is like this weird blend between what an Xbox 360 can deliver and what an original Xbox would be able to deliver. Like the facial animations and the lip syncing, it's all pretty bad. But this is the largest open world in any Naruto game I've ever played, and it is pretty fun to explore. The combat is also one of a kind, and I'm not sure what exactly I like about it, but something about it just feels so nice. It's not as complex as some of the games I'm going to be covering later in this video, but you are given some room to perform some pretty cool and lengthy combos. The way jutsu work, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I think it's partially annoying and partially really cool. You have to perform the hand signs using the control sticks, and then once you actually start performing your jutsu, you generally tend to carry out either a quick time event or a series of quick time events that are typically related to the jutsu you're performing. For instance, when using 64 palms as Neji, you'll have to strike your opponent's chakra points while they try and move out of the way. I also think it covers the Search for Tsunade and Sasuke Retrieval arcs pretty well, though it does pad both of them with a bunch of unnecessary filler. The side quests can get a little bit annoying as well, but for the most part, I think playing through this game's story mode is a pretty enjoyable experience. The multiplayer is quite fun too. Like most Naruto games, it's extremely flashy, and all of the combos are very satisfying to land. The jutsu don't look as nice as they could, but this isn't too much of a problem because the game is just so much fun to play overall. I will say, I think Rise of a Ninja may have had a slightly better story mode, but I'm only speaking from memory. I haven't played that game in ages, and I do know that the Broken Bond is pretty much objectively mechanically superior. So yeah, clocking in at number 4, Naruto, the Broken Bond.
Hokage になんてなれるかよ。
The Ultimate Ninja games. An older brother quickly overshadowed by his much more successful younger brother, Ultimate Ninja Storm. I never played the Ultimate Ninja games growing up, but I did go back to play a few of them recently, and I gotta say the experience isn't really comparable to any other game I've played before. Like, the games are sort of like a 2D version of Ultimate Ninja Storm, but not really. They're kind of their own thing entirely. Now, the Ultimate Ninja games do have one thing in common with the Ultimate Ninja Storm games, and that is the fact that they are incredibly high energy and extremely over-the-top and ridiculous through and through. Crazy shit takes center stage in these games, particularly its latest entries. The gameplay does get a little bit repetitive after a while, but it's definitely a great game to pull out and play with friends for a few hours. The uncontested best game in the Ultimate Ninja series is Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja 5. This game shits on all of the others in terms of its content, character roster, and story mode. As a matter of fact, and I might be wrong on this because I never played Ultimate Ninja 4, but this game's free roam may have actually served as the skeleton for the free roam we got in Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 and Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. I mean, even the map looks fucking identical. Now, the presentation in this game is very clearly that of a PS2 game, but it does what it can with its very limited horsepower, and it adopts a pretty cool looking manga art style that I don't think any other Naruto game has gone for, with the exception of Shinobi Strikers. Now, as far as the core gameplay goes, I don't have a whole lot to say, but the coolest thing that you can do in any of them is give certain characters ninjutsu that they would never be able to use in a million years. For example, it's pretty fucking sweet. The collectibles in this game are great as well. You can collect dioramas of important events and fights, figures of characters in different poses, and even clips of various Ultimate Jutsu that you can watch without the HUD in the way. Overall, I think Ultimate Ninja 5 and the series in general is just a whole lot of fun. Nothing too deep, but that's not what you pick up a game like this for. So when I first posted the thumbnail for this video on Twitter, many of you made sure to let me know that you'd be pretty upset with me if a Clash of Ninja game didn't make it onto this list. As a matter of fact, many of you specifically mentioned Clash of Ninja Revolution 3, since that's the most recent and feature-complete Clash of Ninja game we received over here in the West. But those of you who don't already know might be happy to hear that Clash of Ninja Revolution 3 got a sequel of sorts over in Japan. See, in Japan, this series goes by the name Gekatao Ninja Taisen instead of Clash of Ninja. And there are a few more Gekatao Ninja Taisen games than there are Clash of Ninja games. Now, some of the characters and features from the Gekatao Ninja Taisen games we never got were compressed into Clash of Ninja Revolution 3. That's why the story only covers up until the end of the Swagkage rescue mission, but the character roster has characters like Sasuke, Hidan, and Kakuzu. But then, another Ninja Taisen game launched in Japan after Clash of Ninja Revolution 3 was released, and I guess for whatever reason, we never got it. It was never brought over here to the West. It remained Japan only forever, and that sucks, because this is, without a doubt, the best game in the series, and I say that solely because of its roster. Now, before I get into why this game is so special, let me discuss what makes the series as a whole so unique. Clash of Ninja is, without a doubt, the most competitive set of Naruto fighting games ever created. Everything is tightly balanced, all of the characters feel unique, and the games even feel very reminiscent of many other traditional 3D fighters, like Tekken or Soul Calibur. Clash of Ninja Revolution 3 even had a short-lived competitive scene over here in the West after it first released, as a matter of fact. And while it did die down rather quickly, because the Clash of Ninja games weren't too popular, hopefully it still speaks to the quality of the games. Now, Ninja Taisen Special in particular has an incredibly unique set of characters. Naruto and Minato in particular are two of the most complex characters I've ever played in an anime-based fighter ever. Like, Naruto has his own unique chakra system because of how Senjutsu works. Minato works by teleporting around all over the fucking map. Then you have other characters like Itachi, who uses shadow clones as part of his fucking combos, drops genjutsu, warps across across the map and shit with body flicker. I mean, you really gotta play the games for yourself just to understand what it is I'm talking about. Words do not do these games justice. As a matter of fact, you can find 1.5 to 2 hour long character tutorials for some of the more complex characters in this game. That's how insane it is. The only downside is that everything's in Japanese, so you either have to figure out what everything says on the menu yourself, or you have to learn how to read Japanese. There are a handful of guides translating the menu out there on the internet. I used a few myself when playing this game. And plus, if you don't want to emulate it, you have to import it and then go through the trouble of getting around region locking on your Wii. But regardless, it's just such a good game that I had to put it on here anyway. Aside from the core gameplay, it also has a bunch of fun single-player stuff to offer. Each of the characters have their own unique classic mode. I guess that's the only way I can really describe it. It's very similar to the 3DS version of Smash 4's classic mode, and it also offers tons of other cool stuff like Battle Royale, 1 versus 3, 2 versus 2, and a completely different kind of 2 versus 2, reminiscent of something like Tekken Tag Tournament, where instead of having your teammate on the field with you, you can just swap back and forth between two characters throughout the course of a fight. Really, this game has so much to offer. I'd highly recommend it to anybody who's patient enough to deal with all of the problems created by the fact that it's Japan only. And if you don't feel like going through all of the trouble to play it, then at the very least get Clash of Ninja Revolution 3. It's the closest you'll get to as good as this game is. Like, seriously, words cannot do them justice. These games are incredibly special. Can't recommend them enough. Oh wow, Swagkage put a Naruto Storm game at number 1, who would have guessed? Yeah, I get it. This probably isn't surprising anybody. Storm's topping the list, I'm sure everybody saw this coming. But the real question is, which of the Storm games is my favorite? Now, reaching a conclusion here was a little bit difficult because each of the Storm games does something unique that sets it apart from the rest of the entries in the series. Because of this, everybody seems to have a personal favorite. But sadly, as per the rules, only one of them can make the list, and so without further ado, the number 1 spot goes to Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy. For those of you unaware, earlier this year, actually way earlier this year, Bandai Namco released a compilation of all 4 main series Storm games, alongside a next-gen compilation of the first 3 main series Storm games, titled Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy and Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy, respectively. Anyway, plenty of you are probably a bit mad because I'm sort of copping out by condensing the entire Storm franchise into one entry on this list, but look, man, they released a compilation, it's hard for me to pick a favorite. The choice was obvious. I had to pick this game. Now, among the Storm games, if I had to pick a favorite, it's a bit tough. Storm 4 is probably my favorite just because its gameplay is so much more polished than the rest. Now, I'm sure plenty of people would beg to differ, but I love the way Storm 4 plays. There are a handful of bugs, not to mention a few weird balancing and design choices, but overall, this game plays a lot better than the rest of them do. Storm 2 has the best story, in my opinion. A lot of people would once again beg to differ. Many people think that Storm 3 has the best story mode in the series, and you're entitled to your own opinion there. That's totally fine, but I think that Storm 2 covers a period of the story that I like a lot more, that many people enjoy quite a bit more, as a matter of fact. And I also think that Storm 2 had much better boss battles. Now, if you've somehow never played one of the Storm games before, and you're wondering what makes them so much more special than all of the other Naruto games that I've mentioned so far, the easiest way to explain it is admittedly a very generic answer, but it's because this game, or rather, this series, comes the closest that any Naruto game ever has to making you feel like you're playing the anime. I know a lot of people apply that description to many anime games, but the Ultimate Ninja Storm series really nails it. Its presentation helps it out tremendously here, because I cannot find a single fucking video game based off of a pre-existing IP that more accurately nails the look and feel of its source material than this series does. Everything about the characters, from the models, to the colors, to the faces, all of it's perfect, as are the environments and all of the jutsu. The sound effects are implemented flawlessly, the soundtrack is both original and incredibly fitting. I mean, everything about all of these games just feels so Naruto. And that's all without even getting into details details about the series' core gameplay. It's extremely flashy, and admittedly, on the surface, it does appear to be very simplistic, since there's only one melee button, and that's B, so it feels like the combos don't have a whole lot of room to be very complex. And this is true in the first few games, because you can't do a whole lot of complex stuff, but the engine had been refined and altered so much by the time Storm 4 was released, that game feels like an entirely different one from Storm 1. Now, this is partially due to the fact that CyberConnect 2 really likes taking features out of its games when it makes sequels. Things like wall combat, jutsu clashes, side combos, and a handful of other things were all gradually stripped from the Storm games over time, but it's also because a whole lot of features were added as well, like Chakra Dash cancels, leader swap, guard break, all of which are great examples of mechanics that add pretty noticeable layers of complexity to gameplay. Storm 4 is also so much faster than the first two games are, and it's honestly one of the fastest fighting games that I think I've ever played in my life. It's got nothing on something like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but it can definitely get pretty quick in a match between two of the right people. I can also say that, without a shadow of a doubt, playing through Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy is the best way to experience Naruto's story through a video game. Now, you won't get everything you need to know from Ultimate Ninja Storm 1 about the stuff that happens in Part 1, since that game tends to gloss over a lot of really important plot points, but all of the other games do a pretty complete job of telling their segment of Naruto's story. As a matter of fact, when I didn't have a computer and I wasn't able to watch the episodes or read the manga online, these games are how I experienced Naruto's story for the most part. So I owe a lot to these games. After Naruto stopped airing on Toonami, or more accurately, after it started airing the 100 episodes of filler that was Season 4, I sort of fell off of the series, and I don't think I ever would have caught back up with it if not for the fact that these games told the same story so quickly, so effectively, and in a way that was so easy to take in. This means that, by extension, if not for the Ultimate Ninja Storm games, at the very least, if not for Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 and 3, I probably wouldn't have ever gotten around to making this channel. I mean, maybe I would have ended up attempting to make videos about, like, Dragon Ball or something, but this series wouldn't mean nearly as much to me as it does now. That's really weird to think about. And I guess it goes without saying at this point, but I just can't stress enough how fucking excellent these story modes are. The free roaming aspect of Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 and 3 is fantastic and really gives you a better idea of how Naruto's world is laid out. The occasional boss battles spread out between both of those games are also phenomenal, and the back-to-back boss encounters that you get in Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 are fucking insane. Seriously, that game is just a non-stop barrage of ridiculous and over-the-top situations with a bunch of nonsense and crazy spectacle thrown in. I can't recommend getting these games enough. Even if you don't want to touch the multiplayer, the single-player campaigns alone are by far worth the full price of each game. Anyway, if you found yourself in the same shitty situation that I was in, where you're really far behind on either Naruto or any other long-running anime series, I have a pretty good solution for you. Verve is a congregate app that hosts a whole bunch of different content sources like Machinima, Rift Tracks, and Rooster Teeth, but among these, the ones that I think you guys are going to be the most interested in are Crunchyroll and Funimation, because those are the apps with all the anime on them. Now, across the two of these, you can watch a whole bunch of shows, either subbed on Crunchyroll or dubbed on Funimation, including all the big names you see here, like My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball Super, Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, Hunter x Hunter, you name it. If you can think of the anime, it's probably on one of these two apps. If you use this link, you can get a free, ad-free 30-day trial of Verve Premium, which will allow you to watch all of the content I just mentioned without ads for a whole month. There's no strings attached, you just click the link and you get free anime. I can't really think of a better way to pitch it to you guys. You got absolutely nothing to lose. Since Verve was kind enough to sponsor this video, if you do decide to click the link, you'll be helping out the channel in the process as well, so it's a win-win for everybody. Click the link, get yourself some free anime, and make sure you do it soon because the 30-day free trial is gonna go away pretty quickly. It'll revert back to a 7-day trial soon, so make sure you take advantage of that free month while it's there. I guess if you need any further convincing, you can also watch everything on it without an internet connection. I mean, it's a pretty great app, really. Again, link down below. And while you're looking down there, leave a comment letting me know what you thought of my picks for today's video. There are a whole bunch of Naruto games, so it's inevitable that our opinions are going to differ, but I am still curious to see what Naruto games are popular among you guys. So leave a top 5 of your own, tell me what you thought of my list, and most importantly, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, or Hanukkah, or whatever.